Well, hello and how are ya? Hey, this here Shenandoah Briscoe coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri, with the blog number 131. That's correct, blog 131. Oh, I tell you. You know, it came to my attention that the other day I was saying the wrong Hampton Inn. The Hampton Inn I was supposed to be saying was northeast, not northwest. Yeah, it's supposed to be northeast. Hampton Inn Northeast. So I'm sorry, I apologize. But yeah, I got that manager and everything. But I'll tell you, there are some great folks there, and just don't forget it. Next time you're in Columbia, South Carolina, you just stop into the Hampton Inn, and you'll have yourself a wonderful, wonderful time and a beautiful experience, and it's all handicapped accessible. You just ask them for that roll around shower, and boy, I tell you, it'll be nice in there. It's very nice in there. Alrighty, that being said and corrected, I can go on with today's daily blog. Now, I'm going to pop up my blue eyes. Look at them, how blue they are. Anyway, that's not what I was going for. I was just going to pop them up. My eyes are a little blurry today, and I don't know why. It's not like I did go swimming. Although I could have, at that Hampton Inn, I could have just slipped right over into that chair and spun her around right on down into that pool. Yes, sir, we checked her out, and it worked fine. I didn't use it, but I could have. Besides that, I didn't want to take off my shirt and blind nobody, but hey, I'm pretty white from the shirt area. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's bright white, and we don't need that nowhere, no, sir. Anywho, let's see, what else was I going to do? I was thinking about singing a song today, because the other day I didn't sing a song, I just told a story. Now, the story I told the other day was a good one, but that's not the story I wanted to tell today. Actually, there are some stories I could tell that are pretty nifty and pretty neat, but they're just for programming my computer. They're for fixing my computer, and I might do that. I just might do that after all. I am gonna, if I can find it, I'll do it. If it's got it, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't have it, I'm not going to do it. Success is a journey. The Captain Battery Park. President Kennedy. Pigs, wolves, owls, and more. Dilbert's Top Secret Management Handbook. Dave Barry. 3001. Alice Adventures. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Dave Barry in cyberspace, and Dilbergs. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna pick one. We're just gonna cancel that out. Nope, the one I really wanted to do was well, nope, can't do that neither. Alright, done. Alright, there is one from one of my older programs that has a guess it's when you just first initialize a user that you get to read that one. It's a Mark Twain story. I bet you I could probably check one up on one of them random search engines. We'll try that one. How about this search engine right here? We'll say, oh, I guess we got to turn on the microphone first. Okay, there we got a microphone on. Scratch that. Select all. Delete that. Mark Twain short stories. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them here, but I'm specifically looking for specific one, and I'm not finding it. Cures for the blues, curing a cold, curious dream. Looking for the frog race, but I'm not finding it. The dog's tail. Edward Mills and George Benton. Da da dum dicka dum dicka dum 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 dum. Come on, give me the frog. I want to read about the frog. Da 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 diddy diddy bum 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 babaloo babaloo baloo boom baloo ba ba. I'm not finding any. Ninny ninny ninny. Well, let's try this one. Is he living or is he dead? Okay, we'll try this one. I'm going to move this up over here. And I got to get into my Mark Twain voice, so bear with for a second. Me, 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 me. La, 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 la. Me, 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 me. Oh, let's see. Can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, we're going to try it. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I decided I'm not going to do it. Sorry about wasting all that time looking for something, but I ain't got it. I figured there ought to be something else we can do today. We don't have to read a story. I mean, I could tell a story about back in the day when I was a kid, but I don't know any stories back in the day. We used to go frog squashing. Did I ever tell you about frog squashing? Well, back in the day, we called it slamming. See, we had this bullfrog farm. Well, we had this farmer who had a pond down out around the back, the area back there, and we'd camp out every night, during the summer. we'd have bonfire, and we'd end up camped out there, and then all of a sudden we'd hear them bullfrogs croaking off down there by the pond. So we'd all end up getting down there close to the pond, and we'd bring our flashlights down there, and we'd just wait and get them flashlight pointed in them bullfrogs' eyes, and right there, as you crept up on them, they were hypnotized by that there flashlight, and they wouldn't jump. And so you could reach your hand up around behind them, and you could just slam them down in the mud. And when you slammed them down into the mud, well, there you had yourself a bullfrog. And you could carry them old bullfrogs home, and you could skin them up there and have you some frog legs. Yes, sir, frog legs. I used to eat all kinds of stuff. What day? We'd go down to the creek, Cold Creek, that is, and we'd have ourselves some, we'd catch up a whole mess of crawdads. Yep, we'd catch us up a whole mess of crawdads, and we'd bring them all home, and we'd tail them and boil them. Oh, boy, I tell you what, that there's a good meal. A whole mess of crawdads and a little bit of ketchup or cocktail sauce, whichever you want. Shrimp cocktail sauce, that is. Whichever you want to have, but I'm telling you what, that's a good meal in itself. Gathering up a whole bunch of them crawdads. That's half the fun, those slippery bottom mud and strolling around in the creek with no pillowcase in your hands so that you could, because if you use plastic, them crawdads, they'd pinch your ways out of it. And I tell you what, boy, whenever you reach down for one, you better have your hand at the backside, because them things scoot off backwards like really quick. If you come in from the front of them, you may as well just give that idea up. That's what I'm saying. Give that idea up. Went down to the river the other day. Well, a couple years ago. Used to go down to the river with my boy all the time. Of course, he's now off and gone into the military, so I don't see me going down to the river anytime soon. But anyway, I'm going to move this arm so it ain't up in the way. Of course, it's going to cause a muscle spasm, but y'all are expecting me to have one of them today anyway. And don't pull the headset off. Well, there we go. Hey, and there wasn't no muscle spasm to it as of yet. So anyway, we'd go down there fishing down by the river, and well, he caught a few fish on his own, but I tell you what, the bigger fishes that we brought home, they were given to us by a few of them boater guys down there, because he'd jump up off the bank and he'd run over there to them when they were bringing their boats in, and he'd stand over there by them and hold their boats while they went and got their trailers and stuff. And they'd usually throw him a fish or whatever, and or their old bait and whatever they had left over for bait. And then there for a while, we'd bought him a casting net out there from the bait store. Well, it wasn't the best casting net in the world. It didn't take long before it was wasted. So we went up to Walmart and we got him a new casting net. And a casting net, now if you ever watch the old Bible stories with Jesus and that, and the old, you'll see in the ocean where they take that big net and they swirl it around and they fling it out there and it's in a big circle. Well, that's what a casting net is. Well, we used to get our fishing bait, and he'd get his fishing bait like that. He'd just cast that net out there and get a bunch of minnows or whatever and drag them in with the net, put them in a bucket, and there was our bait. Well, there you go. Didn't have to go to the bait store and buy it, although he did do a lot of worm fishing, and he would buy them as a bait store. I don't know why. I had plenty of worms in my yard, but he didn't take to them worms. He just took to the worms out there. Anyway, hey, that was a little short story about the fishing, but we'll get into more of it tomorrow. All right, I'm going to say it's about that time for me, so This is Shenandoah Briscoe saying hello and how are you? You know, God loves you and so do I. So tune in tomorrow and we'll talk about something totally different. I might even have a story all lined up that I practiced, 'cause I ain't going to read one without practicing it anymore, 'cause my reading is atrocious, and, well, that's just that. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Y'all have a great afternoon. Alrighty? Alrighty then.